A very good evening to you. Thanks for joining us on the Thursday edition of the show. I'm Yemi Adebayo. Well, it's just one day to the start of the European Championship. We'll continue with our, of course, countdown to that championship. Of course, we'll also profile one of the groups tonight on the show. We will also continue with our countdown to the biggest sporting event on the planet, talking about the Tokyo Olympics. As we go on the show, we talk about the Super Falcons, who will be playing against Jamaica, 10:30 p.m. West African time. They will be playing. Of course, we've talked about the U.S. Summer Series that involves the Super Falcons. So we'll look at what's happening as they take to the field to play against the ladies from Jamaica. We'll also talk about matches in the Nigeria Professional Football League. We'll look at football transfers as well. At some point, we want to give you a slice of boxing, and we'll also, because of the moment we're in, we'll spare a thought for tennis, especially the French Open. I have someone who will be joining me later on the show as we take a look at the French Open, and possibly we will also take a look at boxing in Nigeria, chances at the Olympics, and what we need to do as a country to discover talents and nurture them to stardom. That's the outlook of the show tonight. I implore you to sit back and relax as you join us on this trip across the money-spinning world of sport. Thanks once again for allowing us to be a part of your day. Let me introduce my partner in the Lagos studio. He's going to be with me from start to finish. Bolu Omani joins me as we take a look at all of the things about sports and in between. Greetings to you, Bolu. Thanks for being here.
Yeah, good to be here again on the day where Aqua United extended their MPFL record to 16 games unbeaten. Now they're back at the top of the table. This time around, not leveled on points. They are standing alone, a point ahead of Kano Pillars. And like we talk about the Euros, the excitement is probably more than before. Normally, it's supposed to be 2020, but in 2021, opening game is supposed to be something very interesting. There's a certain group of death where even the biggest punters are just permanently difficult to pick out who would qualify. I think today's show, like Riley said, is definitely fully packaged on the French Open, the Olympics. Everything is just, it's a good day to talk sports. Very good day to talk sports.
And let's start with handball. A while ago, we had the coach of the handball team and one of the players here with us. And so let's continue. The tournament that started in Cameroon, not a good start for Nigeria's women handball team. Let's talk about what happened today. Another loss to report for Team Nigeria. Team lost to the host, 31 to 19. Playing against the host is always difficult. This is going to be difficult, but losing your first game will also put you under pressure. So it was a recipe for a loss, if you ask me. But then, what can we say? First, I'm happy that we are in the tournament. That's in my book, that's progression. A couple of years back, we didn't attend. Now we're here. Then this will probably help us measure. We've lost the two games. My expectations from the start were very low.
Well, we used to be one of the powerhouses of handball in
the days gone by.
Later on, we
fizzled out.
We didn't go from 100 to 1. We went from 100 to probably minus whatever. Now, I was here when we interviewed the coach, and from the statement, he was not 100% confident, but he was just excited about his players. That, okay, I believe what my players can do. Hopefully, they'll give their best. And well, to a level, you can say Congo are not the same as Cameroon, but the result was both losses, but at least they got more points in that game. And I think they lost their concentration towards the end of the game, because at the point they were just 14-13. And that way you could think maybe they will spring up a surprise, but they ended up losing by 31 and 19. But again, I hope, beyond the loss, I hope they are learning from it, because this is not the end. There will definitely be another competition. But sometimes when teams have lost the first two games, the third game will probably be a huge surprise. So let's see what happens when they take on Kenya in the last game. Hopefully they may get the consolation victory. But whatever happens, they've lost the first two games. Are they learning from it? Will the coach be sacked, or the coach be allowed to continue? What's the end result? What's the end goal? What are the future plans? Not you must qualify. If you don't qualify, you are gone. No. There has to be a future plan, either with the coach or without the coach. If not, if it just ends after now, we'll probably go back to the dark ages.
And it brings me to the adage I coined from a West African proverb. If you jump up, you're going to come down.
You'll come down, definitely.
So let's try to climb up. And I agree with all that you have said. What's the end game? What are we looking at? Is it only about this tournament?
Yep.
I feel it shouldn't be about only this tournament. we should be looking ahead. So we'll see what happens with that. All right, let's move away from handball and quickly go on to talk about the Olympics. Let's talk about the Olympics, and let's just tell you from where we stand. 43 days to the biggest sporting event on the planet. We continue with our countdown to the Tokyo Olympics, and of course, a lot of stories in and around the Olympics. So there you have it, 43 days to go. But tonight, I want to start with the positive, and the positive is that in spite of everything, the torch relay is still going on. It's still going on. They've scaled so many hurdles, and now they're almost home. They're bringing it home. So let's talk about it. You'll see the pictures very soon. The torch relay continued its journey across Japan, it must be said, in spite of all the issues. And they are now at the Amori Prefecture. And the starting date for the Olympics is getting close. July 23rd. It's when everything will start. And they've gone, they're supposed to touch 47 prefectures. They've gone way past 30 at this point. A lot of events scaled down, but I give the people of Japan, or let me say I give the organizers, because the people don't want the Olympics, but I give the organizers a lot of credit for finding ways to stage this and letting it go on in spite of all their issues.
Well, first off, no matter, I think we still have to give huge respect and kudos to the Japanese as well, because if they can decide to disrupt the relay, decide probably go roadblocks, rallies and everything. And if you see now, there are probably more people now deciding to take pictures, look out for what's happening. And I think IOC...
Although with a sense of caution.
The caution now, they've set some guidelines for even international journalists
to come.
If you don't follow so and so rules, you are going back to your country. Remember, there were times about that athletes must follow. This time out, they must say it to journalists, you will be tracked. If you go where you are not meant to go, you are going back to your house.
Straight it means ticket back home.
Everyone has to do the right thing. Both journalists, the athletes, those that are not even participating that will be around. Everybody is following step by step. So I like what they're doing. The touch relay is moving. It looks like 43 days is far. Let me wait till the Euros start tomorrow. By the end of the Euros, we are thinking about, just 12 days to the Olympic Games. So it's because it looks like we are still, there's no football, no sports now.
You think the Euros is going to be a welcome distraction for the organizers?
Yeah, so, when the Euros come now, for the fans now, everyone is off. It still looks fine for something, but when the Euro starts, everyone will probably take the focus away. By the end of the Euros on the 11th of July, you are thinking, Olympics is just 12 days away, then we turn the attention back to it. So I think it's interesting how everything is moving positively, step by step. Everyone is preparing on their own, even though we are looking for elections in Nigeria. But every country, they are looking for how to make things better. Some have started launching their jerseys or the team shirts and everything. So we are getting there. No matter what happens now, except something extraordinary, which we don't pray happens, 43 days from now, we'll definitely enjoy the usual beauty. No matter, even if there are no fans, even if the fans will be minimal, one thing is certain, the opening ceremony will be a beauty to watch. The fact that it's Japan, one of the most cultural nations in the world, I can't wait for the opening ceremony. One of the countries
with advanced technology as well.
Everything would definitely... I would be surprised you see fans without fans in the stadium that day.
Yeah, it's possible. People in remote locations still being able to be part of it. Yeah. And also to buttress your point, there's a poll conducted by a broadcaster in Japan. Of course, the Olympics has divided opinion, but they discovered that even though some people don't want the Olympics, those that the percentage for those who don't want it has gone down by 10 points. So if it was 55 before,
it's now 45.
It's now 45. So I agree with you that as the days go by, people will gradually feel
more reality. Well,
let's just have this thing and let's move on. So kudos to the organizers for being strong in their resolve to have the Olympics and also putting measures in place to ensure that the Olympics will be safe. Let's move on the show as we talk about things related to Nigeria. Of course, Bolu, we've always talked about the things that used to be our strong points. Let's talk about something, a sport that we're well known for, but these days it looks like we're struggling. I want to talk about boxing on the show. Hopefully at some point we're able to have a robust conversation on boxing. We have somebody lined up who should be joining us right about now. But Bolu, I want to get your thoughts before we have that conversation. Boxing, it appears like we've taken the back seat. Not that we're lacking in potentials, but as always, there's something wrong about how we organize ourselves and, the things we do to ensure that these guys get the opportunity to show their stuff?
Okay, let me paint it in the, should I say better way or even the worst way? I can't remember his name. One of boxers, he was saying, he was speaking Yoruba and angry in this interview. And he said he's leaving Nigeria. And he's going to represent any country that whoever Nigeria brings to any tournament, so long he battles him, he's gonna. He was born to fight and everything. I think the last representative we had at the Olympics was Ifeanyi Jagba. And from reports, he sponsored himself to that event. For the last Olympics, we've missed out at the boxing event. Why? Because for whatever reason, they always fail to go for the qualifiers. They fail to go for trials. The world, all-comers will fail to go for those ones. Then they won't give us free tickets. Anthony Joshua won't be at the Olympic Games. If AJ is going, you could say maybe for AJ, give it free. They won't give our unknown boxers easy pass to this tournament. Our last boxer, Ifeanyi Jagba, is now one of the best in the world. So it means, like you rightly said, the talent is there, but the question, even the boxing federation, what are they doing? Because you can't keep missing out world qualifiers. You can't keep missing out Olympic qualifiers. You can't keep missing out world tournaments, all commerce. You can't keep missing everything and you expect people to take you serious. It's not. And the interesting thing, for example, Aruna Kodri, if he failed, he didn't fail. But if Aruna Kodri had failed every qualifier, he would have still been at the Olympic Games, thanks to his ranking. I don't even think our boxing will be ranked among top 50 anymore because we have literally missed out on everything.
What are the events?
And there's no way we'll rise. Exactly. No events. The last one, they were talking about visa issues, from visa issue to no money and everything. And then one of the things I say is, look at the athletics, for example. They were like, one or two coaches were dropped due to money issue. And at the end, the president went. The sport minister went. What are they doing there? They could have stayed back and let these two coaches go. So sometimes, exactly, sometimes we don't think much about these key actors. We think about the administrators. And if we continue that way, the boxing is already dying. I read a report. I saw a video of, I can't remember, one of the foreign retired boxers who is bringing developments, buying kits for everything. But no matter how much you do as an individual, the federation is not rising to the occasion. It will definitely affect the athletes.
All right. Let's see if we can have that conversation now. Ikechukwu Okoronkwo joins us as we take a look at it. Okay, apparently it appears we have 18 or 2 to sort out. When we're done with that, we'll have that conversation. And like Bolu said, I mean, individuals can only do the much they can. We need to come together in areas of our strength and see what we can do to ensure that, of course, the sports that Nigeria has comparative advantage. We can take it to the global level, win laurels, and do so well. Bolu, let me also get something from you with regards to what you feel is our potential level. If we get it right, among boxing nations, what do you think we'll rank? Let's start from Africa.
Well, like people say, if you're a Nigerian boxer, just put all that's happening into your fist. Yeah, ready to
just
knock
let
down
it go.
everyone. And we've seen it over time. The talents that I see some boxers on the streets without proper training. Just basic guys trained on the street. You could see the effort, you could see the passion, you could see the talent in some of them. We've seen lots of videos. Some will say for clout, all the young girls, they miss out pictures. And the talent is there, but again, talent is not enough. There has to be proper grooming. There are rules to every sport. Even the gidigbos, there are rules to every sport until you go through proper training, proper tutoring, proper coaching. We'll miss it there. So for African rank, it's even hard to rate us because we are not even representing in any way. Like I said, our best or our last representative at the Olympic Games is Ifeanyi Jagba, and he's doing well for himself right now. So if Ifeanyi Jagba can go that far, it means there are guys here that can also go far. We saw the likes of Samuel Peters and the legendary Bashali. So we have guys that can grow. But the question is, are we harnessing those talents? I think if we get there, if we start training, if we start preparing, we should be able to take on almost everybody on the continent. We have them, but again, what is the federation doing? What is the sport ministry doing? What is Nigeria doing for this guy? Like the boy that said if he leaves, he said he does not care any tournament. If he meets any Nigerian boxer, and he was born to fight. That's the only gift God gave him. And so it means he's going to vent his frustration. We saw the Asia Games, was it 2 years ago? Lots of Nigerians winning medals there, including boxing. Do we have the talent? Yes, but we're doing the right things? No. Before
we talk about what everybody wants to see tomorrow, let's talk about the other semi-finals, probably a minute or two. Stefanos Tsitsipas and Alexander Zverev will lock horns for a place in the final. So your thoughts on that first before we talk about the big one?
Well, I'm loving Tsitsipas in this one. I know Zverev has bulldozed his way through all the rounds and is playing fantastic. He's playing fantastic. His baseline defense is something to write home about. But I see the settled nature of City's pass play, and I'm backing him to get one over, maybe in 5 sets over Zverev.
5 sets, okay. All right, so whoever wins that definitely is going to be tough. Let's talk about the big one, Rafael Nadal against Novak Djokovic. You could close your eyes. A lot of people have alluded to the fact that Novak Djokovic has improved on clay, but he's up against Rafael Nadal, who I think has lost maybe just once to him in previous meetings on clay at Grand Slams and has won more finals. But this is not a final anyway. It's just a semi. But I'll get your thoughts.
Semi-final.
Yeah. I want to get your thoughts. Is it hard to bet against Nadal, even if it is Djokovic?
Okay, let me take a quote from Djokovic first. When he says that it's a privilege to play Rafael Nadal at Court Philippe Chatrier, you understand everything he has said. If you also say that Nadal has improved on clay, that's a big statement. Somebody who's won it 13 times and has only lost twice in his whole career in the French Open, once to Robin Soderling and once to Djokovic, then it is very hard to bet against him. But there's something going for Djokovic. Against Berrettini yesterday, he did not drop any of his serves. His first percentage serves were really up there. And if you watched Nadal Schwartzman, Nadal was troubled by his first serve in the second and the third sets. So for me, what I'm looking at on Friday is if Djokovic keeps up the consistency of his first serves and Nadal kind of falters on that first serve, then Djokovic will have a chance. But if Nadal plays like he played in the fourth set against Schwartzman, against Djokovic on Friday, then it's going to be a repeat of last year's final, a whitewash.
Whoa. Oh, that's a strong statement. Well, Jide, I'd like to get you back someday to see how some of these things pan out. But first, I want to thank you for your time on the show today. Really appreciate you taking our time to be with us.
Thank you.
We get to do this.
Thank you very much for having me. Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
All right. So that's it. I think it's going to be fair to allow you say a thing or two about Stefanos Tsitsipas, Alexander Zverev, Rafael Nadal, and Novak Djokovic.
Well, for the two young boys, Tsitsipas has played. This is his fourth semi-final, but he's never gone past the stage in a Grand Slam. And for Zverev, it was at the last US Open final. So, but both of them, Zverev lost his first 2 sets at the US Open. And since then, he's been straight set all through. And same thing for Tsitsipas. Tsitsipas has lost just 2 sets in this tournament. He has also gone on straight sets. Not easy wins, but I think Zverev has had more of 6-1, 6-2 victories than Tsitsipas. But again, like he rightly said, the sleekness at which Tsitsipas plays his game, but again, depends on your opponent. Zverev is very defensive. He's like a Nadal. He's rugged. He doesn't give up. Even when he's down, you know you are still in trouble. He fights hard. There were some games he won the 3 sets by through the tie break. He knows what he wants. It's hard to pick, but I think, okay, since he chose Tsitsipas, probably I'll go for Zverev. But for the big boys, as much as you think anyone has improved, when you reason it's Nadal they are playing, you think, okay, well, let's see what happens. And Nadal is, when he's down, no matter how, even if it's down 3 sets and losing 5 love, on clay, you still think he will come back.
He has a chance.
He has the control and everything. Then there's a certain Djokovic, when it's 2 up, you know you are gone. But now it's coming up against Nadal in his home, kind of. So I think it's hard. I think Djokovic will give his best. I don't think it will be a 3 straight set win, but it's possible. He has defeated him 3 straight set before in the French Open, so it is very possible. I think it will be a 3-1 win for Nadal, but stopping Nadal for the number 14 will have to probably be another year, not now.
All right. I know I shouldn't give my opinion, but if Nadal loses, in my books, it's an upset. In my books, it's an upset if he loses. All right, let's move on. Bolu, let's talk about the ladies, Super Falcons of Nigeria. Talk about the U.S. Summer Series. They will be up against Jamaica. I mean, less than an hour from now, they should be playing against Jamaica. So, Bolu, we're not going to spend too much time on this, but what do you expect to see? They're going to play against Portugal, against the U.S. As well. But the first game is today, in less than an hour from now, against the ladies from Jamaica. Not much is known about them when it comes to football. A friendly is a friendly. a warm-up is a warm-up, and it's very good.
I like that they are playing the US last.
Yes.
Because sometimes when you play the best in quotes in the first game,
Get deflated.
It affects your morale and everything. And well, for this game, they are not likely going to have Asisa to show. She's with the team already, but she joined I think same with Mono, maybe not because they are big or something. They had games. Asisa played against I think Madrid last game, so that's why they turned up late. But whoever plays, it's another opportunity. Like I tell you, when your key players miss some games, it's another opportunity for the French players in quotes to give their best. I don't think Randy Wardrum has his team yet. I think he's still making trials, probably speaking with some players. Okay, as such, the captain, who do you think, even though okay, we all know why Okparanos is not in this course, so they should not tell us what we don't know. But I think they are expected to beat Jamaica. From there, maybe battle it out with Portugal and maybe a narrow win. If they can get 2 wins or maybe 4 points from these two teams, I think they'll have a good tournament. I'm not even expecting them to score against the US, but I think these first 2 games are possible victories for the Super Falcons, especially the fact that they may not have all the stars for this game, but definitely for the Portugal game, especially if they don't score as much as they think, or maybe they miss lots of chances, you expect the likes of Oshoala or maybe Rashida Tajibada and Co to play the second game against Portugal. So I think they'll pick up 3 points against Jamaica tonight.
All right. We'll see what happens. We're back again tomorrow to talk about what happens in that game, but probably an hour or less from now, they will be playing against Jamaica. Our best to the Super Falcons. Hopefully, we will be able to come back here to talk about victory for the girls. We must also commend the NFF for giving the girls a chance to play tune-up matches and prepare them for the task ahead. All right, let's talk about the Nigeria Professional Football League matches played today. Bolu has talked about some already. But let's take a look at the results. Bolu will tell us the stories behind the results. MFM and Abia Warriors should have played yesterday. The rain. Aqua United and Heartland headed 3-1. As a result, the Promise Keepers have... somebody had already called them title contenders. Some say, well, it's too early. Don't. But I think at this point, you'll have to put them maybe followed by Yimba. Maybe you can throw Pillars in the mix. But those 3 have to be front runners.
Well, they are on a run of... it's title winners that go on runs like this. And this has never happened before in the NPFL. What's working for them is they were not... at the point it was Eyimba, when they win 2 or 3 of their games, they go top of the table. Kanopi, Last Kwara United, then maybe Nasara somehow in the mix. And suddenly they went on a straight run. They draw away, they win at home. Draw away or win, they win at home. Now 16 games unbeaten. I don't even think, they don't look like it's ending now. And that the fact that they have the luxury of making, well, maybe that's why they had to pick them to represent the state for the FA. But I think they're on a very good run now. Now that they are top, initially they were switching between Kano Pillars. When they draw away, they drop. When they win at home, they go top. Now, they know what it takes. They are the top now. Now everyone is fighting to get them away from this. So I think it will be difficult for anybody, including Kano Pillars, to pick them, because even the games Kano Pillars won, you think they fought hard, sometimes struggle, come back from a goal to win, like they did against them. But the Aqua United boys don't look like they're stopping. So for those calling them title contenders, I think they are right at that. But again, the NPFL can mess you up. You lose one game, well, you may drop like maybe 2-3 places from the top.
All right, so we'll see. We'll see what happens in all of those matches. We'll continue monitoring the NPFL for all the amazing and interesting stories we get from domestic football. Let's move on now and talk about the big one. It's going to start tomorrow, June 11. Let's talk about the European championships, the best of football. Some people have called it best footballing nations. Well, South America can argue, can say a thing or two about that. But Europe's best will be in action in the European Championship. So it starts tomorrow. But before we talk about what's going to happen tomorrow, let's profile Group F. Bolu, let's stay on this, then I'll get your thoughts. But first, let me just quickly say 18 or 2. You have France, Germany, Hungary, and Portugal. Of these teams, 3 of them have won the championship before. Only Hungary has not won. Germany has won 3 times. For those who like to argue, they may say 1 because they won 2 of the 3 as West Germany, but as a unified Germany, they won in 1996. France has won it twice. 1984, team led by Michel Platini. Year 2000, team led by Didier Deschamps. Already had Zinedine Zidane as well. And Portugal in 2016, led by Cristiano Ronaldo. Let's go by FIFA ranking. If you want to go by FIFA ranking, the best team in this group, obviously, is France in number 2 in the world, Portugal 5, Germany 12, Hungary 13. Those are the stats, but stats don't play football. Bolu.
You mean Hungary 37.
37, yeah.
Yeah, but I think everyone is even predicting this group, not thinking about Hungary, because if you check between the three teams or the three top teams, there are 6 titles between them.
Yes.
Germany 3, and they also came second 3 times. France 2, I think second once or twice. And Portugal, the last champion. It's in this group we have the defending champion, we have the world champion, and the most successful team at this tournament. But going by Germany's recent form. Last outing, you may think it's not, but they have the players, they have the quality,
and again, a proper tournament team.
Minus the last World Cup, I don't think I remember Germany going beyond anything
less than quarterfinals.
Even quarterfinals since 2002 or there, but they always get to semifinals minimum. And so because it happened last World Cup doesn't mean it's going to happen again. So I don't think anyone should still underrate them. Portugal are the team people are just okay, there's Ronaldo. They have a better squad now than when they won the Euros the last time. There's a Bruno who is in form, there's a Ruben Diaz, there's Bernardo Silva, there's Joao Felix, Diogo Jota, all these guys. And there's a certain Andre Silva. I totally forgot about him till I heard he actually won the top scorer in France. Then I went to, this guy is actually back to his best. Remember, I came into the limelight very young and suddenly fizzled out. And there's a young boy, Renato Sanchez, who has also picked his form back. So they have a
Silva as well.
Yeah, they have a compact team and they are old men in defense for them. And they have like 4 right backs. They have it. Well, there's nothing new to say about the French team. Benzema, we still don't know if he'll miss out or not due to the injury he picked up. But there's Griezmann, Kylian Mbappe. All these guys are filled with goals.
Let's talk about France a little and a little joke. Some said the French team and the French government looked at this group and they said, it doesn't make sense to keep this beef with Benzema. We need to qualify. We may not qualify. So let's forget whatever issues we have with Benzema and just bring him back. I don't know if you think that's the reason, but a lot of people said this is footballing reasons, and then look, Benzema can contribute a lot to that team. So let's just forget whatever we have against it.
Well, leaving Benzema out has never been for footballing reason. But by comic about it was they need a Real Madrid player in their squad to win anything. France 19, they had Karembeu in the squad. 2000, they had Anelka.
Yeah.
The last World Cup, they had Rafael Varane. And they thought, Varane is not sure if he'll go or not. Let's bring back Benzema. But now he picked up a knock in their last friendly. So we are yet to confirm if he'll miss out or not. But I think Benzema obviously is a beautiful addition to them. Since Ronaldo left, he has been turning up beautiful, impressive
A lot of people have been touting him to start ahead of any striker. That's how good he is.
I think
to start ahead of any striker
Mbappe is the only one in this squad with more goals than Benzema.
Yeah.
And people will tell you he plays in the Farmers League, even though I don't agree with that school of thought. But aside Mbappe, no other and Mbappe prefers, even though he started as a 9, but Mbappe prefers running from the side. We all know Griezmann is not the man you need up front. He prefers either playing behind or on the sides. And Giroud was on the bench almost all through the season. So I think they had to think deep bringing back Benzema. I wish him all the best. I wish he could recover ahead of this tournament, even though his first game for them, he missed a penalty. But again, it's a friendly game. All those does not really matter when you get to friendly. At Real Madrid, the supply from the wings, everyone is not as good as what he's having in this French national team. And now it gives them more goals. Goals from Benzema, goals from... You expect Benzema, Griezmann, Mbappe to start, all things being equal, except maybe injury or whatever. And there's a certain Dembele that can come from the bench. There's Giroud from the bench. There's Coman. There's Wissam Ben Yedder, who had a fantastic season.
Yes.
So there are goals in this French national team. And there's a young man or small man, who is the rave of the world now. His name is N'Golo Kante. Kante is there in the middle for them. There's Paul Pogba in the middle. There's Tolisso, Rabiot, Sissoko, who is, if you need someone to run 90 minutes for you, Sissoko
120 minutes.
All of them. So I think the French team is, in terms of squad, they have the best. You can't underrate Germany.
Let's talk about Germany, since you brought it up.
Germany have everybody to in that squad. But again, because of their last outing at the World Cup, people think they are not there. But you cannot underrate that team. The fact that Muller is back in the squad, Hummels is also back in the squad. So now they are mixing the old guns with the young flesh in the likes of, what's his name, this former City boy, Leroy Sané in the squad, Gnabry. All those guys had fantastic season with Bayern Munich. These guys have a squad. But the big question is, do they have the mentality of the 2014 Germany or the mentality of 2020? 2018. If that's what they have, I think they'll have lots of problems because sometimes cohesion, psyche matters a lot. What would the players be thinking? Are we thinking of, let's move on? And there's a man that misses every possible chance. The only goals he scored
Timo
are offside
Werner.
goals. Timo Werner will likely be in that squad with them. There's Kai Havertz also, but Gundogan, tournament, he has not been to tournaments for Germany due to one injury probably on that. And surprisingly, Marco Reus is not there. So I wish, what's his name, Joachim Low didn't shoot himself in the foot by leaving out the likes of Marco Reus, because sometimes players like that, even at their worst days, they just find ways of turning up. So, but again, they have the good players, said Nabil, Toni Kroos, Kimmich, Joshua, the Nigerian-born Musiala, where we are thinking of poaching, but they call it to tournament. If he gets to play one, that's game over for Nigeria. And there's also Leon Goretzka, who is a brilliant defensive midfielder for them. So
Emre Can as well.
Emre Can is also. They have the squad, but I still think in terms of squad, numbers, performance, is definitely France in this group. But my two favorite teams in this tournament, France and Portugal, unfortunately, they are both in the same group. But I think either of them will win the tournament. That's just an opinion. Doesn't mean it's a guarantee.
All right, let's not disrespect Hungary by not saying anything. Let's say something.
I tried to read through Hungary, and I was like, what is it? But they are one of those that enjoy the UEFA Nations League. They qualify through the playoff path thanks to their position in the Nations League. But again, we've had dark horses in the tournaments.
Greece,
remember
in
Greece
2004?
They were just winning 1-0. 1-0. Defeated Portugal 1-0 in the group stage, got to the final, still won 1-0. I remember Iceland in the last tournament, 2016. People were like, how many? About 300,000 nations. What are they doing here? And they didn't even have the luxury of Nations League to qualify. They qualified very well. And the interesting thing is, there will be best loser. There will be out of the 6 groups, 4 teams will qualify as third. It means, minus the top 2 teams, there will be opportunities, but I'm a bit scared for Germany, though.
Okay, all right. We'll leave it at that. Okay, let's quickly go on and talk about what's going to happen tomorrow. Let's talk about the Azzurri's squad. Roberto Mancini has definitely picked up that squad. He's done something good with it. I mean, you would almost forget that they didn't qualify for the 2018 World Cup. And the man is saying we could get to the semis. The Italians, they are a proper tournament team. But this current Azzurri squad, I don't know if it's just my opinion, something about them. They have the whole guard in defense, Chiellini, Bonucci. I don't know, but there's something that's just off. I don't know.
Well, they've been doing well since Mancini took over. I think 32 games, they have a beautiful record. They've not conceded in their last 8 games. They won all the qualifying games, although England does that all the time and they end up losing the competition. I think they're on 26-game unbeaten run now under Mancini. So they have they've been rising steadily, but people are not taking note of them. Probably because they don't have the names like they used to. So people are not focused on them. But they have the players. Insigne, Ichiro Immobile, like you said, Bonucci and Chiellini in defense, even though they may be too old for this tournament. There's a certain Florenzi, and one of the young best goalkeepers we have, Donnarumma, for them. So they are, no matter what, they are the best team in this group, but nobody can underrate Turkey. They may not have the world-known players, but they have one of the best scorers in the French league. Yilmaz, a 35-year-old years. They have one of the best defenders in the Premier League. They have Soyuncu. They have
the right back won the league with the French league with Lille.
Yeah,
as well.
Lille, and there's Chananoglu that they similar. So they have and then the group stage. Their defense is their strength actually. In the group stage, qualified, they considered just 3 goals in all the games. It means opening game is definitely going to be interesting. Right. Very interesting.
It's going to be very interesting. Italy and Turkey tomorrow. My game to be played in Rome. Let's talk a little about Turkey, even though you said 18 or 2 in passing. I had fond memories of Turkey's team to the World Cup in 2002. Azan Sas, Akan Suko,
their goalkeeper, Rustu.
Yeah.
I think they got to the semi-final.
I think they won bronze. Yeah. I think so. But they've never reached that
since then. Yep.
Since then.
That was like the boss. That was the boss for many teams, including the likes of even Korea and Japan themselves. But I think Turkey are coming to this. This is probably their best outing for a while. Yes, unfortunately, when Datura and Co were there, even at their peak, they didn't really do anything for the team. It happens all the time in different national teams. But I think they'll give Italy a run for that. They won't be a walkover because they have a very, very good defense. So I think it will be interesting. It won't be a surprise even if they end up getting a draw for the game.
All right, so that's it. Also, as we go, let's quickly tell you that Jorginho Wijnaldum has joined PSG. A lot of people thought he was going to Barcelona, but he ended up joining PSG. That's our parting shot on the show. First, I want to thank Bolo Money for his time on the show today. Hopefully, we'll do this again.
Yeah, definitely.
All right. Thank you as well for being a part of the show today. One more edition for the week, and that's going to be tomorrow. I'm Yemi Adebayo. Bye-bye now.